Hey, hey, hey. Oh, Lord. Hey, guys.
Hey,
Lord.
let let's have mercy.
Right.
How's
Um,
everybody doing?
right. How's everybody? So, Lord Jesus, Jesus, Lord. We have just been working, trying to get this kind of up to where kind of sort of at least to where the size up is. We're still trying to build the size up. Well, welcome to Its Own, powered by the size of because my crazy head and mind, I have ideas for all types of podcasts. So
Oh, right.
I do. I'm tired because I feel like it's not enough hours in the day. You know what I'm saying? But I
Right.
have the ideas for the different podcasts. I'm closing the door in the room I'm in because you know how certain people like to come and disturb. Or you'll hear gunfire in a minute from the video game. So I got to close my door. Okay. So I have all these ideas for these different podcasts, different ideas. And so I want to make sure that people are watching this one as well. We want to make sure that we're getting that content out. Welcome to Its Own. This is a show where we talk about all things TV. Um, we're going to do our weekly rundown of shows. We have retired one show,
Yes.
which was This Is Us, because there was a season finale of that. And we have added a new show to the lineup for the week. So that's Run the World, which I'm super excited about.
Girls.
Tonight, though, we are definitely going to be diving into the documentary Tulsa Dreamland. I'm sorry, the Tulsa Massacre that aired on CNN on May the 31st, which marked the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Massacre that happened on Black Wall Street. So,
Right.
this was awesome. There were two other documentaries that I did watch, but this is very educational. It was quite awesome. It broke everything down. Of course, we've seen the reenactment of the Tulsa Massacre on
Um, Wa-
Watchmen,
Watchmen
right, and
and
on Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country. And
So
guess what? It came on as on Lovecraft Country this weekend came on a marathon on one of the HBO channels.
yes, I
So I had to
heard.
watch it again.
You did you? I'm
Yes.
probably gonna binge watch it since I decided to go through Game of Thrones again. I'll probably put that on like my binge watch list to just
Hmm.
go back through this series and watch. It was a very, very awesome show. I'm hearing rumblings that there is possibly a season two of
I need
Lovecraft
it to
Country.
be a season two.
But
It needs to
here's
be
the
a
thing.
season two.
So Journey Smollett and Jonathan Majors, who are main characters, and although his character died, I feel like they should make Lovecraft Country an anthology series. That's just my thought process behind it. But Jonathan
Hmm.
Majors is now a part of the Marvel family. He's gonna play a villain in the Spider-Man movie.
Hmm.
Kang the Conqueror, I think, is who he's gonna play. So we got that. Then Journey Smollett is busy as well. So these people are busy and booked. So if HBO is not making a final decision as to what they're going to do with Lovecraft Country, they have to feed their families. And, the pandemic, they were sitting down, like we all were. So
Hmm.
I'm sure that they too have to do what they got to do. So Jonathan Majors also, from my understanding, is supposed to be in the next Creed film as well.
Oh, okay.
So when I say boyfriend
He's
is booked and busy, he's booked and busy.
busy.
So so they
Well,
can't wait on HBO to make up their mind as to what they want to do. Um,
exactly.
yeah, they gotta work. So I'm hoping and praying that they do work that out to where they do come out with the season two, because again, that's prolific. The
Yeah.
way they mixed history in that was awesome and exciting for me because I love history. But we are gonna
Hmm.
talk about this. So let's get started.
Let's get
Um,
started, shall we?
let's get started. I think first up we got Run the World. Yes. Let me tell y'all something.
Who
This
Runs
is
the World?
Girlfriends meets Sex in the
Sex in the
City
City meets
meets
um
Living Single.
Living Single all in one. And
All
I'm
in,
like,
and it
I'm
also
loving it.
Eric Alexander is also has a recurring role on here. I love this show.
I
The
do
show
too.
comes on Stars. It airs 8/7 Central on Stars. I love it. The acting is phenomenal. Brisha Webb leads this cast. Brisha Webb and I know this baby's name. I've been reading it all weekend. Um Amber Stevens West. I'm sorry. Leads this cast. Brisha Webb, if y'all have not been familiar or have not been following her career, Brisha has been in quite a bit of movies, guest stars on television shows, that sort of thing. She's been working. Where I first saw Brisha Webb was on Love That Girl. Do
Now,
you
which
remember
one
that
is
show?
Risha? Which
Brisha is the
one?
one on the end in the pink and
Right here.
red rose dress on the on our left.
Okay.
That's Brisha Webb. Um,
Love
she
That Girl. I remember that, but I never watched the show.
it was so funny. Oh my god! So she was the assistant to her Ashley Banks. Tatiana Ali starred in it with, I cannot remember that guy's name. He plays everybody's dad in everything, it seems like. But he he had a real estate company. Tatiana Ali's character worked for her dad. She had a brother who was trifling. It was so funny. And Brisha Webb was his ghetto assistant. And it was so funny. It was hilarious. I loved it. They had 2 seasons of it. It was on TV One. But I love that show. But that's the first time I had ever seen Brisha Webb. Not saying that she has not done anything prior to then, but that was the first time I saw her. Then Amber Stevens West, she's been in a ton of things as well.
Okay. Again,
Most
you gotta show me who
notably,
she is. Who is she?
Amber is on the other end.
The one that's
Light
married.
skinned girl on the end, skin the one that's married to the African, or getting ready to get married to the African. Yes. My favorite seeing her was on the Carmichael show. I don't know if you watched that or not, but she played his girlfriend. What is that baby's name? I'm tongue tied tonight. Carmichael. Who was
Michael
the main
Carmichael?
character?
Is it Michael Carmichael?
No, his name is Michael Carmichael. Hold on. This is awful. I feel bad. I know no one's name. Hold on. Gerard Carmichael. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Gerard Carmichael was the main character. He came up with the show called The Carmichael Show, kind of loosely based on his family. It had Loretta Devine and David Allen Greer as his parents. And then had Tiffany Haddish was his sister-in-law. Lil Rel was his brother. Like, it was really funny and it was hilarious and I loved it. But it got canceled. It was on NBC and it actually had like 3 or 4 seasons. It was really, really good. We loved it. I love the intro song. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. I love it. I love it. But she was his girlfriend on the show. She played on a show on for many years on oh my god, which is it's Freeform now, but it was called something else back in the day. I think it was called Sorority. And I could be wrong about that, Pleasure or something, but it was cute. But she was like the only black person on the show.
One of the only black. Step Up or something like this. It was a
no. It was a show. It was a show
Okay.
on Freeform. Hold on. Let me pull up this girl's IMDb while I'm talking, so I can give her correct props. She was also on Happy Together with Damon Wayans Jr. Greek was the name of it. It was on Freeform.
Okay.
And she was on there from 2007 to 2011. And she's been in a ton of other things. So they're great actresses. The new kids in town And I want to get these young ladies' names right. Um, the new kids in town that I have never seen in anything. They probably have played and stuff. I don't know. Thank you, Paul.
Oh,
Uh,
Paul, you're just the greatest.
yeah. Okay, Corbin Reed is Sunday, who was one of the young ladies. And then, Brisha, Corbin. These ain't all the characters. Hold on. Amber Stevens West plays Whitney. Andrea Bordeaux plays Ella. Brisha Webb plays Renee. And Corbin Reed plays Sunday. Of course, Tosin Marufan, I cannot pronounce this man's last name. He plays Whitney's husband to be. If he looks familiar, a lot of people thought he was Daniel from Insecure, and I was like, no, that is not Daniel. I know my Africans. That is the guy who played on Bigger. Yeah, he is adorable though. He really is. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Okay.
So
Now take them out because I'm finna get hot and bothered. Take them on off the screen now. Thank you very kindly. Take them out. Okay. So that is not Daniel from Insecure.
But the dude from Insecure played the guy that she had the affair with, right?
No.
He wasn't. He was the guy that she was in love with, not the one that she was currently. You know what I'm talking about?
I have not seen the dude from Insecure on here at all.
Okay, I'm talking about the dude that when I don't want to say this on TV on live, but I'm gonna go ahead. It's the episode. You remember the episode where she was performing the oral sex?
That's Daniel. Daniel is nowhere in here. That's what I'm telling you. Daniel's not in this show at all. No, ma'am, Pam.
Hold on.
Daniel is not in this show.
I beg to differ. Hold on.
Okay, you can beg to differ. I'm looking at the characters. Daniel is not in here. Hold on. Let me tell you what Daniel's name is from Insecure. Let's do that. Because I know how that man looks. His name is Yalin Noel. Where his name is? I don't see his name on here at all.
Okay.
That ain't Daniel. Okay. I know that fine black man anywhere I see him. Okay. Anywhere I see him. Okay. I'ma stop. Okay. All right. So we also have Jay Walker, who plays Renee's husband, who she wants to get a divorce from. We have Nick Sager, who is Ella's love interest, who left her high and dry. You got Erica Alexander, who plays Barb, who is Ella's boss, and I love her. I love Erica Alexander. Just to name a few characters, you got some other key characters that are in the show, but she has a recurring character on this show, and she's awesome. Keep in mind, can we do a close-up of Erica real quick, Paul? Go back to Erica real quick. This baby, I don't know if she 50 yet or not, but she close to it. I think she might be 50. Look at this girl. Just fine. Oh, yeah, she over 50. Just fine. For no reason. That's all I just wanted to say. That don't look like no 50-something-year-old woman. I just want to put that out there right now. Let y'all know little mama's fine. Okay, let's get back to the main picture, please. We're going to talk about this show and kind of give you guys an introduction to Run the World. And Run the World is, oh God, y'all, my allergies. Let me tell y'all something. Memphis in the summertime, the springtime, and the fall time are nothing nice when it comes to allergies. Just want to put that out there right now. So Run the World is about 4 friends who have different careers, different lives. They go through relationship drama, different issues and troubles. We're going to start with Whitney, who is Amber Stephen West's character. She's getting ready to get married, and she's an investment banker. I think I got that right. She's always working. She has to entertain clients, that sort of thing. So she's quite busy. She's getting ready to get married to her college sweetheart, who is a doctor, and that's played by Tulsa. I can't pronounce his last name, but he a fine black man. So they are getting ready to get hitched. She's got her friends helping her with the wedding stuff, that sort of thing. These are her girls. I want to say they kind of sort of, I don't want to say grew up together, maybe at least went to college, but I think at least one or two of them have like grown up together because they kind of know how, being kids and that sort of thing, how that was. But Whitney seems to have it all together, but she cheats on her husband to be with a one night stand, or what they call community peen, because all the girls have slept with him except for her. So so
she was intrigued, honey.
She was real intrigued. I was like, okay, girl, spark your interest.
She was like, okay, what you all about?
Right. So she did that. And so now she's kind of second guessing because she's never really got to really date, really get out there in the public, do her thing. She's not been able to do that at all because she's had this kind of world painted for her, if you will. So I'm loving this. This is classic. Now, I'm not saying classically people would cheat on their fiance before they get married, but people do have wedding jitters a lot of times, especially if you've never been out there in the dating world.
Because I think that he was her first and only, right?
Yeah, right. By the way, Whitney, girl, you ain't missing no. Marry that man. You ain't missing not a thing. Understand the dating world is bleak, to say the least. Look at what your girl's going through. So next to her is Ella, which is played by, oh my God, Bordeaux. I know her name. Andrea Bordeaux. So Andrea Bordeaux, who I'm digging this fade. This girl is rocking and she is killing it. I want to fade so bad. Every week I threaten to shave my head. But I love this fade because this is I just love it. But Ella she was writing a book. Book didn't get published. She's a writer. She's written for magazines and that sort of thing. So she's getting back into that type of game again and writing for an online magazine. And she's going on different interviews and that sort of thing and writing pieces or whatever about the different, about different movies, different op-eds. The very first episode was funny because Soulja Boy had a party, and Soulja Boy told them they were too mature to be VIP.
Basically, you too old. Too old, honey. Too old.
You remember when Soulja Boy was on? You remember when Soulja Boy was on the Breakfast Club? You don't see how the memes is going around when he be like, that finished, that's why I was like, oh no, he did not call these girls old. But he did. So she couldn't really get her interview. I don't know if she got in trouble about that or not. Maybe she just wrote about the party that they were at.
Oh yeah, no. She wrote about them being called too old.
Okay, which is good. So at least she's finding her way and getting her spin on it. So then Sandy, played by Corbin Reed, is dating the very fine, in real life, Stephen Bishop. His character on here is a college professor. She's a grad student, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But they have a relationship, but she wanted to keep it a secret because she didn't want anybody to think that he was the reason why she, got to where she is. She wants everybody to feel like she's gotten there herself without the help of a professor. So they've been sneaking around. So the upcoming episode.
But hold on, are we going to talk about how the girl, she decided to withdraw?
Yeah. Let me back up because I'm going too fast. They have a secret relationship, but they don't, because she kind of she kept her apartment like Carrie did in Sex and the City. But she's kind of sort of living with her boyfriend and his daughter, because he's a single dad. She has really taken on the stepmom's role, and I thought that this was really, really cool. They got their own little special language, and she bought her the ballerina shoes for little black girls. Instead of those pink ballet slippers that they have. I thought that was really, really cool. I thought it was great. But of course, kids will be kids. And I think
what the other kids had, which was the pink one.
Right. And I think they don't understand why, this girl got these brown shoes on. So she went to go drop off the check because he gave her the check to drop off and had her drop the baby off to the class, and she ended up withdrawing the baby from the class because they were saying that she had to take some additional classes. Because
not only that, but no, she took her out of the class because she was given a pamphlet about body image. And
that's what I'm saying. I was going there. She was given a pamphlet about that, but they were saying that she needed to sign up for additional classes so that she could work on her body and her form and that sort of thing. And they were telling, so because we've talked about this in the past when we talked about Debbie Allen's school that she has, where she has non-traditional bodied students that dance at her school. Because we've always been told what we can't do because we don't have the dancer's body. If that makes sense. So she withdrew the baby out of the class. Keep in mind, this ain't her child. Not for real. They not married. So of course the little girl was embarrassed and her daddy was mad. So they had a fight. So Sunday went to her apartment. Of course she went back, but of course they're sneaking around. And some way, somehow, somebody from the university saw them kissing in the park. And
I kind of figured that was going to happen. Either somebody was going to see them kissing, or they were going to take a picture of them kissing. But I kind of figured that was going to happen.
And somebody filed a complaint. Which, here's my thing. We talked about this yesterday with the Monique situation. We need to mind the business that pays us. Like, I don't care who date who. You date the professor, by all means, make sure you get an A, girl. I'm not finna hate on what you got going on. I'm just not. It's not like he's so much older than she is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I think it's because that they were working together.
Right.
It kind of, If they wasn't working together, then I don't think it would have been a problem. But because she was working on her thesis and stuff with him, and he's working with his research, that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, I get it. And he was saying that it probably wouldn't be a problem if they had to just come forward and let the university know that they were dating. She didn't want to do that. So now they know. And they got to email about it.
I don't think that's the reason why she didn't want to let them know.
No, I don't think she didn't want to let them know because she didn't want him to. She didn't want to feel like, because she told him, she said, I don't want anybody to feel like you're giving me any special treatment. That's exactly what she said.
Not only that, but I'm not saying, I don't think she's mentioned it, but I'm thinking that she is like kind of like afraid of being in a committed relationship, because she's always been about being independent, doing things on her own. I don't think she really sees the concept of actually being with someone.
Okay.
So
I never thought of it that way.
So that's what I'm saying. She's using that as an excuse, but she's been always saying, I've been doing this on my own. I'm independent, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking that's one of the reasons why she also didn't want to say that.
Gotcha. Okay. I can see that. And then Renee, Brisha Webb's character. Renee wants a divorce because she's been carrying her husband, who has decided that he wants
to quit his job.
He didn't quit his job because he's managing a band, and he decided to take their savings and invest it in the band. And did not.
She said invest. You say you invest. I was like, what? And Renee, she was the marriage was good because it looked good on paper.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking, because she was saying that, as she was talking about their financial, when you was working, we had all this, we had all that. He looked good on paper. They as a power couple,
I
as
can
a power,
say that.
because
I
she
can
was
say
like,
that, but I also
we're supposed to be, because she said something we're supposed to be like Barack and Michelle or something like that.
well, I
She
get that
was
part. I get that part because she's very ambitious. She's good at what she does, whatever it is she does. I don't know what she does. I think marketing or something.
right.
So I think she's like a marketing exec, and she's going up for a VP position. I think she's good at her job, but I think she wants to do this. She doesn't want kids. But I'm going to say this. I don't think that she doesn't love him, because when he actually was gone, you saw how she looked.
Right.
She's
right.
quite disappointed. I don't think
But
she
she
doesn't
told
love him.
him
I think that the plan that they had, he veered away from the plan that they had. And she tried to play along as long as she could. But how much longer you want me to carry you, bro? On some pipe dream on a band who ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? The likelihood of a band making it and actually him getting paid off of shows that he's booking for the folk, because he's doing a lot for them and not getting anything in return. So, with that being said, she tired. That's what I got from it. She tired. I think they had a plan. He veered away from the plan. I don't necessarily think it's a good on paper type of, I think it's a nigga.
I think that's one of it. It's one of it.
I think this is what we decided we were going to do together as a couple. You done changed that, chasing after some band who ain't bringing in no income. I'm taking care of you. Basically, I ain't signed up for this. That's what I gathered from that. But check out Run the World. Very awesome episode. On Stars.
We talked about Ella, right? Her boyfriend that left and didn't come back until 2 years later. I did not
talk about that. Well, he back and they back, doing it.
But wasn't it a trip how she was flirting with that Australian guy? And she brought him into she went to his place.
And he sounded like a white porn, and she was like, okay, I'm out. Let me tell you something. I am a mixture out of these three. I'm a mixture of Renee and Ella. I am. I have left somebody, and this is probably TMI, too much information. I have walked out on somebody because it was not good. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I done put somebody out my house.
Yeah.
Because it was, sir, it's time for you to. What do you mean? Sir, I hope you don't think that was good. You can go. And then I'm about my business. I don't have a problem with building something together, but when you veer away from the plan, there comes the problem. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a mixture of the two of them. I'm not necessarily afraid of commitment. I'm just cautious when it comes to committing, because you end up committing to an idiot and you end up a part of a Lifetime movie. So
or paying some idiot tax.
I know. So I don't have time for that. So yeah, I'm all for this show. Y'all check it out. Run the World. Stars 8/7 Central. Next show. I think. Okay, pose.
Girl.
Let me tell you something.
Let me say this. I was praying that I was gonna be wrong, because it looked like I was going to be wrong.
They got him in the study. So let's talk about this. Let me tell y'all something. I have cried. I
watched it twice and I cried.
I watched it twice and I cried like I had never seen it before. So the series finale of Pose aired last night on FX. And it was a 2-part series finale. Actually started off as 2 hours, and then they broke it up into 2 parts afterwards. It showed the evolution of the characters, and of course they rushed it. They rushed it because they had to, because hey, end of the series. Wendy's prediction came true. Pray
I
Tell
did.
did die, but he didn't die the way I thought he was gonna die. Because I
Right.
kind of knew he was
I
gonna
thought
die
he was
too.
gonna be in the hospital and like he was in the beginning,
Yeah,
and he was gonna die. But
yeah,
and then when I saw that they was gonna put him on the med, and then next you know he okay. You don't see those the thing around his eyes no more. He's
yeah,
able to see and
yeah,
stuff. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
good. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. But
yeah.
then when he sacrificed his health
Right. For
to
Ricky.
save his love, I was like, why? Pray tell why?
Mhm.
And I just started crying. And when
Right.
he found him in their bed dead, I was like, that's probably one of the worst feelings in the world. When you find
So
your loved one just dead like that in the.
right. So let's talk about the issue. So the ACT UP, I actually looked it up. It's a real organization, and throughout the series of polls, there have been this organization called ACT UP that advocated for AIDS patients
Mm-hmm,
in the fight against AIDS.
mm-hmm.
And what they did when they were doing the protests and spreading the ashes and stuff, that actually happened in real life. So some of the footage that they were using, I was like, why does this look real? They were using some of the real footage from the stuff that actually happened and took place.
Right.
So let's talk about how they were discriminating against people of color and not allowing them into
What
these
was the name?
trials for AIDS recovery so that they people would not die. And so a lot of people were dying. And of course, there was all this money for medication and that sort of thing that kind of took place. So they found out about the trial.
From the white guy that she was taking care
That
of.
was one of her patients at the hospital, Blanca's patients at the hospital, and found out that he got into this trial. He had the money to do it. He was able to, and he was white. He was the right color. So she fought and advocated so that Pray Tell could get to be a part of the trial because they only had a few people, two people of color that was a part of the trial.
But not just her fighting, it was also her boyfriend and
Yes,
the nurse Judy, whatever
and
her
no,
name
and
is.
Nurse Judy, which I love. I love Sandra Bernhardt. I don't care what nobody say. Absolutely love her.
Yeah.
So they fought to get the Pray Tell on this thing, but the boyfriend was like, I also need Blanca on it too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the trial drugs, they worked on some people, they didn't work on others. They took that, but it was really working
Because it was a trial,
because
but
it was a
you
trial.
think about it. You
Yeah,
think about it. They was giving placebo to some of them.
right. So Pray Tell was
The
doing
dude.
better, thriving, doing his thing, baby. He had joined the gay men's choir, him and Ricky, he was having people over. He was just doing things. He was being Pray Tell again. And I
Mm-hmm.
quite enjoyed what I saw that life coming back into him. I saw it and I enjoyed it and I loved it. I was like, this is Pray Tell. So maybe he ain't gonna die. Because maybe if they revive this series again, then we won't have
Mm-hmm.
I don't get to see no Pray Tell ghosts like I see Candace ghosts and Cubby's ghosts. I ain't got to see these
Mm-hmm.
ghosts, okay? So so he
Ricky.
he started
Ricky has a lead.
huh?
He found out Ricky has
He found out
lesions.
after one of the gay men's choir rehearsal, he found out that Ricky was getting sick because he found the lesion, and Ricky showed him the lesion because Ricky was talking like, he was like, well, are you joining in the tours? Are you doing this? Are you doing it? No, it's over for me. I'm getting old. Sir, you're barely 30. What do you mean you're getting old? And then he showed him the lesion. He was like, it's not over. No. So I didn't know where they were going with that. I thought maybe Pray Tell was going to try to get Ricky in the trial.
They did. They tried.
I know they
He,
tried, but
but
what I'm
he,
telling you is I thought that's what I thought was, I know they tried to do it, but that's what I thought was going to happen. Or maybe something was going to happen. They actually got Ricky in the trial. Child. So I knew something was up when he started talking, when they were getting ready to do show or
Mm-hmm.
ballroom, he and Blanca, when they were getting ready to do that, he started really talking about how he had done everything that he had sought out to do except for his fashion line, but he was okay
Mm-hmm.
with that because he had made peace with it. He was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Oh Lord, no, y'all ain't finna pray for me." No, I started crying. Then, do you understand me? I was crying. Okay, and
No, when I cried, it was after they won, they got their trophies and everything. They was outside, and he was talking to her,
yeah,
and he told her boyfriend, "Take care
take
of
care
her."
of her. But I was already crying because I said, they finna take this man away from me right now, and I'm not for it. I said, I don't know how they gonna do it, but something finna happen. He got home, girl. He was in that robe, taking that makeup off. I said, he finna die, Jesus. He finna die.
Hold on, I have a theory though.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pray Tell took his life.
You think he did?
Cause how did he know he was gonna die at that moment?
Because he hadn't been taken. So although
I
he
know,
felt,
I know he
yeah,
hasn't been taking
he
it,
hadn't been
but
taking the
he
medication.
didn't know. He really didn't know
Some
that he was
people
gonna die.
know. Some people know. Some
I
people
think
know.
he did. I think he took something
I
to
don't
go
think.
ahead. I think so.
I don't
that's my thing.
I
I
don't
think
think he
he.
took his
I
own
think
life.
he. I. I think he took his life. You remember that episode where he tried to stop his friend from taking his life?
Right.
That's why I'm like,
You thinking that. I don't
because
think Bray took
he
his
got
life.
himself ready. He got himself ready. He took off the makeup. He just sashayed
Sashay down the
down
hall
the
in his
hall.
robe.
He was ready to go. He did something.
I
That's
don't
my
think
theory.
he did. I don't know. I don't think. I just think Prey knew he was finna go because he had not been, and he hadn't been taking that medicine for months. You know what I'm saying? And although he might have had that energy or he might have felt good, that probably doesn't mean, it still doesn't mean he wasn't in pain. He probably knew. And sometimes when you make peace with sometimes some of our parents or some of our grandparents, they knew before they, girl, I'm finna go. Let me go and go to sleep. Y'all take care now. They know.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just knew. I don't think it was that, but I was bawling like a baby. It was over with for me at that point. When that baby found Pray Tell, and then they was at the hospital, and they told her Pray Tell was at the hospital, and she broke down in that hall. I couldn't do it. Okay, I could not do it. So then came the fight for people to be a part of this trial.
And
It
get the drug.
for the drugs so that they could be rid of or fight this disease head on to help people be healthier so they can live longer lives. Um, Blanca's doing well. They fast forwarded up to 19. Hold on.
98. He died in 96.
He died in 96. So they talked about they did push it up to, was it 98?
Mm-hmm.
I think they did the thing before 98. It was after he died
Uh-uh.
because his mama came. Mama came. I'm sorry. We skipping over some stuff.
Yeah.
Mom came to visit Blanca. And if y'all remember correctly, on the episode when he went back home, he told his aunt exactly what he wanted to happen and made her power of attorney of everything. His mama fought her
You want to go somewhere?
tooth and nail to to get the wishes carried out. So she took half of his ashes back home with her, I'm sorry, but she left half of them with Blanca and told Blanca what he wanted to do to give everybody a little piece of him in
Right.
the heart locket. Okay. So they were trying to, she didn't fill up all of the hearts for everybody. She filled it up for everybody that was in their immediate family or crew.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the extras that come in and out. Don't know if they mentioned Damon. I was upset that he didn't get to come back, but I understood why he did not come back for the series, for the series finale. But they mentioned Damon and how he done found a sugar daddy in Chicago.
And that's the one that had to leave because he lost his sister, right?
Right. His sister was murdered. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. His sister was murdered, and he was on the first episode, but then he was gone and he didn't come back, and that was the reason why. Um, so his sister got murdered. So, like I said, I totally understand why he didn't come back, but it would have been nice for him to be on that series finale. But they did mention what he was up to and what he was doing. I love the note that he gave to everybody. He had wrote this out. He knew what he wanted to say to those who he loved and who he cherished. And he wanted, to make sure they understood that he loved them tremendously. So I dug it. I absolutely, positively enjoyed the messages that he gave to everybody. And then Blanca finished his blanket. And then they had a meeting with ACT UP where they decided that they were going to go and spread the ashes at the governor's mansion. I think I could be wrong. Governor might stay upstate, so maybe the mayor's house, the mansion on their doorstep.
It was the mayor's.
Okay, the mayor's. Okay, and so they poured ashes because a lot of people wished to be cremated, probably because their body was in terrible condition. So they probably wanted to be cremated, and that was probably easier for a lot of people to do. So a lot of people had cremated loved ones and friends who had passed and died, and so they dumped the ashes of those people on the mayor's doorstep. Okay?
And then they even had a body.
Well, this lady's son had just died a few days before they decided to do this protest, and they still had his body, and they carried his body and put his body on the mayor's front step. Amazing, I tell you, amazing. This protest was extremely violent. It was crazy how they did it, but it got them to wake up and it got them to listen. A lot of the people were, of course, a lot of people that excuse me, suffered from AIDS and HIV at that time. A lot of people were gay, but at this point in time, in the late 90s, it wasn't just gay people that were suffering from the disease. There were heterosexual people that were as well. Right. So it also became a thing. And so there was a push for people. And of course, now you see all types of drugs that they advertise now on TV for HIV. That was unheard of back then. They didn't advertise this, the big Bitarvi and all these other drugs that I see that they advertise now.
Because I see their Bitarvi one, like one
all the time.
All the time. I'm like, okay.
It's another one that they play all the time. I just can't think of the name of it right now.
Duvaro or something like that.
I can't remember what it is, but it's a few of them out there that they are advertising, nationwide to fight HIV. So now if you are HIV positive, you can live a healthy life because they know what it is and they know what they're dealing with, and they have a lot of research and stuff going on for it now than they did back then. Mm-hmm. So we fast forward to 1998, and Blanca is a nurse finally. Lord God, it took forever, Jesus, it seemed like, but she's a nurse. What's her name? Is an accountant now. Like she always wanted. Lulu was an accountant. Angel has been staying at home, but she's getting back into modeling. But she's had fun raising Angel. I'm sorry. Poppy is still working for the modeling agency and doing his thing. And then of course Mother has come up with another harebrained plan. She said, "Ain't no sense in doing no phone sex no more. Let's make it viral. They can do the video chats." She said they pay for just one of my condos. She said, "I'm rich, honey," and that's where I will always be. Mama Electra doing her thing.
She said, I can drop $1,000 and won't even pick it up. I said, well, can you drop it my way?
I know.
Drop it my way.
Can you drop it in my lap? I will gladly take it. Okay. Um, so I wholeheartedly dig it. I do. I love it. Electra was meant to be rich. You know, I feel like I in a lot of ways I feel like I have an inner Electra in me because I feel like I was meant to be rich. This is ghetto, okay? It's ghetto. I cannot.
And she was like, and then when Blanca was like, "Well, I gotta go meet the kids for the ballroom tonight, the ballroom."
Right.
And she was like, "Why are you still at that place, that sweatshop?" I was like,
At the sweatshop. Um, but it
but you remember in the beginning, the first episode, they was at the Met Gala, the Met place,
when they
stealing the
stole the stuff from the
costumes.
Met, yes, and came in there and slayed and got arrested right after they slayed, girl. I said I'm hooked to this show already. Already, this is my show. Um, so yes, so um Blanca has a new set. Actually, she's got grandbabies, and Ricky is a father. Okay, and so they have a new house. Or not a new house. It's the same house, just with new children, and they have some bright-eyed, bushy-tailed queens that rock. They rock their ballroom. I loved it. I enjoyed it. And then the young lady that Blanca met at work, that found out that she had HIV, she invited her to ballroom, and I think Blanca's always going to have an opening in her heart for mentoring and working with babies who are still getting kicked out of their houses because of the choice that they made to love who they love, and not, being discriminated against. Because I can't imagine kicking my kid out. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine disowning my child because they choose to love who they love. I couldn't do that, because what kind of parent am I if I did that to my child? You know what I'm saying? Um, so I think she's always going to have those open arms. She's always going to be that mentor. She's always going to be that mother. And I think that her starting her own house was the right way to go, because she's always, and I think always has had that motherly instinct about her and always have wanted to take care of other people. So I'm glad. Now I would have loved for her and Boo Thang to get engaged or something, the doctor and the nurse. But I think he loves her. I think they're
Yep.
gonna be together for a pretty long time. So I thought, I'm glad that she got the legendary award, and they were playing with her at the table because they was like, yeah, it's tax season. I got to do some people's taxes, or I got to take care of my child. He got the sniffles. Girl, you know me. I'm not going to that sweaty. They all looked at each other when she got up from the table. I said, oh, they got something up their sleeve. And lo and
Mm-hmm.
behold, they did. She got her legendary award. And I
So
love
she's a legend
so
now.
she's a legend. And I love the advice. She gave the same advice to that house that was tired of losing and not
Mm-hmm.
winning trophies at the ballroom, that Pray Tell gave them when they first did their first ballroom debut. And she remembered that, and she gave that to those babies, and I loved it. They kept flashing back to the time when he was talking to them about that. So I'm super, I cried. I love the song that they played. They play
Oh,
My
girl.
Love Is Your Love, and Your Love Is
Cause
My
the
Love.
girl had the Jamaican like outfit on, the Jamaican colors on. Did you
Yeah,
see that?
I did see that. I did see that.
Yeah, and then I had a feeling. I said, don't let Blanca pass too. I said, I can't take two there.
I
So
know.
I'm glad that
I
they
no,
didn't.
no.
I'm
Keep
glad that
Blanca
they didn't.
alive, girl. Blanca got a lot to give and a lot more to do. Keep Blanca alive. But I loved that. Did love it. And then nurse Judy is working in the maternity ward now. I thought that was cool. She said, "This is my passion now, babe. I love the babies. I love the life. I've been around death for so many years. I
So
just
they changed their ward into a maternity
maternity
ward.
ward. Yep. Because a
They
lot of
said
people.
less. They said less AIDS patients was coming
Yep.
in,
Yep.
so they're gonna do something about that.
Yep. Yep. So it was an awesome series finale.
Yeah,
Um, I I hate that Pose is gone. But MJ Rodriguez is already signed on to do another show. Billy Porter is about to be the fairy godmother in the next rendition of Cinderella. Uh, they working. They got jobs, so
I
they gonna
don't
be all
think
right.
I don't think they should have canceled this show though.
I don't think
I'm
so either.
still thinking that they still had more
It
to.
seemed pretty rushed, but because it was the series finale, that's how. And they said they didn't even know until they came back because they started recording it prior to the pandemic and they had to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they came back, that's when they found out that it was gonna be the series. That was it. After they got through taping this season, this was the end. So I don't even think the show creators and everything knew until after the pandemic, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense, or after they came back from being out for the pandemic. Um, so we will miss this show. I definitely will, and it'll probably be on one of my binge lists as well. So when I feel down or I feel low, let me watch a ballroom. Let me tell you what my favorite scene was when Pray Tell and them old queens got to fighting with what's the name? Not Cubby. What's that boy's name? The other dude's name in his house. They got
That
to
they was
fighting in
Carter,
the
yeah.
diner. I
Mm-hmm.
was baby. I was hollering. They got the fighting in the diner. They was throwing
Cause they
food
didn't get
and
that money.
everything.
That's why. Cause they wanted that
Yes.
money. They wanted that money.
They was like, we gonna pay them? I don't know, girl. It was too funny. I loved it. But yeah, so Pose, binge watch it. Start from the beginning. It's really great. It's on net. The first two seasons are on Netflix. I imagine the third season will be. But if you are able or have access to FX on demand, you'll be able to watch all of the third season on FX on demand. Bye, Pose. All right. Child, listen. Let me tell you something. First of all, let me just say this right now. Janine is not dead. I was correct.
See, I thought she was dead, so I was like, "Well, I be darned." And I told you, I had text you. I said, "Girl, you all right?"
Janine wasn't dead. Janine is one of the ones that's not gonna die. Janine has that fight and that pluck in her. Janine ain't going nowhere. And they're not gonna be able to break Janine. They've been able to break Janine before, but because Janine has been hanging out with Miss June, Janine is never going to break. I don't care with her one eye, she gonna be all right. Cause they let's start from the beginning here. So they have a group that they meet with once a
But,
week just to
but
kind of hash out.
it's like a survivors group. Those who are
Yeah,
handmaids and
yeah.
those. Was it just handmaids or those that also work with like as maids? Not
I don't
handmaids,
know.
but
I don't know if it was handmaids or just the maids, but either way, all of them suffered equally. So, um, one of the one of the aunties who was
mm-hmm.
the aunt at what's her name? Alexis Bledell's character.
Yeah.
Uh,
When she first started, this is before we even. This was
right,
supposed to be
right, because she was
before,
assigned to another family.
and she
Uh,
was mutilated. So I guess they took away her clitoris.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So and come to find out, she was the one that told them to do it and told them about her relationship with the other handmaid, and got her in trouble, got her put in all those types of crazy
And
situations.
then they other girl.
Huh?
They hung the other girl.
They killed the other girl because of it. So um she sees her and she cringes because it's a scary thing for her, you know. Because this woman has inflicted so much pain, and this woman has inflicted uh, so much. She's abused her, because that's what the aunts do. They abuse the handmaids as they're taking them through whatever training that they have to take them through. And so she's terrified of her. So by the time she got to Gilead, she was all right. She was good. But terrified nevertheless. In that, um, she's having trouble with her husband because her husband wants her to talk to him. Um, she ain't about that life. She's not. I'm not gonna talk to you about this because I'm not ready to talk. And I think he shouldn't have forced it, but I think he also wanted her to stop trying to use sex as a way to express herself in opposed to actually talking about it and going through everything. So because June was trying to force the situation for the aunt to uh, for her to try to apologize to the girl. I can't think of her name. Let me look up this baby's name real quick. And for her to actually um apologize and to see if she was ready to apologize. I mean, to accept her apology. Because it was good, and I think it was good in her mind. It was very good for her to off Glenn. I know she got a name other than off Glenn. Let me tell you something. Janine is pretty in real life. I love her hair. She's gorgeous, except for that. You know, she ain't got the one eye in real life. Of course, we all know that. We know they're acting, but she is gorgeous. At any rate, um, they're in this group. You know, they just want to drop it. Mara's mad at June because June is being June, trying to push the issues, trying to make this woman, you know, feel bad, feel upset, feel angry. Meanwhile, she's also set to testify at the trial of General Waterford and his wife, Colt Barbie. And and in that, she's trying to prepare for that. She doesn't want them going. She doesn't want her husband there. She doesn't want Moira there. She just wants to go by herself and do what she has to do. Her husband end up coming anyway. And she tells everything from beginning to end. And tells, you know, what all they did to her, what they made her do, how they made her do it. And then, of course, the lady tried to do the little cross-examination. Somebody in one of the groups made an interesting observation. Their attorney is a woman.
I need you to tag me in that group that you're in. The Handmaids group.
It's not a Handmaids group. I think it might be in the Insecure group.
Okay.
But because we're watching other shows because Insecure is not on right now.
Right.
So, with that being said, since we're watching other shows because Insecure is not on right now, they, you know, whatever show they're watching, they post about it in that group. So what they said was that they got a female attorney, and remember, Serena got her finger cut off because she read in front of the generals at their meeting. And she and her husband allowed for that to happen because women were not supposed to read. Although this was something that she created. She could not be smart. She couldn't read. She couldn't write. She couldn't do all those things that she did to make this mess that she made. So, because of this, they made that observation, and they got me to thinking, where did they find this heifer at? You know, how did they convince her to do this and defend them? June shut everything down. Like, I hope they send your butt to jail. I hope they don't set no bail for you. Like, I'm done. He tried to overtalk the attorney. The attorneys were trying to get him to shut up. He kind of sort of, I felt like, incriminated himself. June still pissed off from the court
Mm-hmm.
scene, invited the auntie to the meeting, and the aunt made the auntie tell everybody the things that she did to ask for the young lady's off Glenn's forgiveness, which that ain't her name. I need to know what her name is on the show. I got to go back and watch it.
Emily.
Huh?
Emily.
Emily, thank you.
Emily.
Cause it don't show Emily. It has their little off names on there, and I was like, no, they got government names before they got these messed up names. So, Emily, and she asked her, "Could you forgive me?" And Emily said, "No." She said, "Well, do you feel it?" Because she said, "Actually, I don't." And that lady was crying, boo-hooing in front of them, and none of them felt bad at all for her. And she left the meeting upset and in tears. They were trying to figure out how she got to Canada because you were part of that system that they created. So how did you make it to Canada? And they welcomed you with open arms. So she gave her address and her phone number, and so Emily was going to go and see her. Well, I'm sorry, let me go back because I'm going too fast. At the meeting, all of the women started talking about a lot of the stuff that was going on and just talking about their angry feelings. Because here's the thing, you can't sit around and say, well, you're gonna make it, you're gonna be all right. You have to get those other feelings out too. That's a part of therapy. That's a part of counseling. You have to talk about how you actually feel. And June didn't want to take over the meeting. June was acting like, I really don't want to be here. I don't know what's going on. I'm just here. And then she got that second wind, looking at the situation with Emily and encouraging the women to speak their truths and how they feel. Well, Emily goes, I guess, to go check on the woman. I don't know, because she felt bad because the woman was crying or whatever. The woman hung herself. She found her in her robe and her slippers hung, and she saw the police and the ambulance trying to go get her or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. They asked her how she felt about her dying, and she was like, I don't have a feeling at all. I guess she felt a feeling of relief and was able to get that pressure off of her. June goes home and talks to her husband, and they start talking.
Because her husband, he creeped in the trial, so he heard everything.
Yeah, he heard everything. She said, now you know everything that happened. I was afraid and ashamed of everything that went down and whatever happened. But now I need to tell you about the last time that I saw our daughter. And so they talked, and I think they're going to be in a better place. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I think they're going to be in a better place. New episode of The Handmaid's Tale does air on Hulu on Wednesday. So check it out.
I was like, Janine is not dead.
No. And Janine let's talk about that. Wait a minute. I missed it. Wait. That heifer got fired. Okay, wait a minute. I was so happy. I was happy. Aunt Lydia. Now everybody been talking about her, right? And she see them snickering, and so she get mad and try to take it out on one of the handmaids. And them folks looking at her like, girl, what are you doing? And so she going off on the girl, and one of the other aunts come up to her, and she hits the aunt.
With the laser thing.
With the laser thing. And because she lasered the handmaid and then lasered the other aunt. Baby! What that commander say to her? He said, you know what I like about June? People like her. People don't like you. I fell off the couch. You hear me? Oh, I fell off the couch. So she said, so does it mean I lose my job? He said, yeah, you do. It was just like, yeah, you ain't got no job no more now. So she's back in the torture chamber, and that's where they have her assigned. And Janine is unbothered by Lydia. She's real unbothered.
She's like, June is in Canada. She's like, she made it. Yes,
she made it.
She said, yeah, but she left you.
June
Well,
ain't leaving.
June really didn't leave her. She didn't want to leave him.
No, and she knew
June was,
June didn't leave her. She knew if June had a thought she was alive, she tried to go back and get her. She knew if June had a thought she was alive, uh, she knew if June had a thought she was alive, June would have got her and they would have went together. She already know that. So Janine is good and unbothered. She's just gonna be in her little hole, feed me.
and she said, "Please do not make me a
Don't make
handmaid.
me
Just let me
don't
die
make me a
here.
handmaid no
Just
more.
let me die here.
Just
I'm
let me
gonna
be here.
die.
I'm
Just
okay.
let me."
Right here. If I'm gonna die, let me be right here. I don't want to be no handmaid, and I'm good. It wasn't nothing Lydia could say at that point. Lydia's influence is gone. I hate I forgot I missed that. But again, check out the Handmaid's Tale on Hulu Wednesdays. All right, next slide. We're gonna be kind of quick here. Because this is summer TV. So we were talking about what are we gonna have to talk about. I've never seen The Godfather of Harlem. I heard great things about it.
I can't even watch it because it's on Epics, right?
It's on Epics. That's the other
I,
thing.
I don't have Epics.
When I get this good Fire Stick, the good one, I'm gonna let you know how it goes, and we're gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna try to see if they got some episodes on YouTube or something. I heard it is awesome. I don't know if they have a trial. They may have a trial. I might be able to binge watch it up until a certain point and then cancel it. I'll see. Um, but The Godfather of Harlem is out now. Grownish season 4 comes out July the 8th. I'm excited about that. We've been waiting. This is their senior year, so we get to see kind of what happens.
But Aaron has already graduated.
Who? Yeah, Aaron has already
Aaron.
graduated, and so they're gonna kick it off with everybody in Mexico. So they have a trip to Mexico. We already talked about the Real Housewives of Potomac. We can't wait till that happens because that's gonna be a mess waiting to happen, and I can't wait for the mess. A part a part of the Power family is Raising Kanan. This is the third installment of Power. They finished the original series of Power, and they came out with Ghost Book 2. Now they're doing Raising Kanan, which is going to follow 50 Cent's character. The one I'm waiting on, I need to understand this. That white boy Tommy, that's my boo in my head. Joseph Sikora is my boo in my head. Do you understand me? And if Tommy had died in the regular Power, they would have had to come see me. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Tommy is hood, but he's hood in just the right places. I love Tommy. So when they come out with Tommy series, I'ma be ready. I need y'all to understand and know. Raising Kanan, I might watch it to see what it's about. I don't know. Of course, we already are in the middle of Run the World. What's that? Is it?
I had to take.
You sound like a.
Yeah.
We sound.
Yeah.
Where's your mic?
Go ahead.
Okay. But I'm sounding crazy. Okay. So we got Run the World. We've already talked about that. Make sure you check that out on Stars as well. Insecure, the last season. I do not have a premiere date as of yet, but the last season is coming this summer. Apparently, word on the curb is will Lawrence and Issa stay together, or will they go their separate ways? Someone has a theory that Molly and Issa are going to end up together. I don't know how true that is. We have to see what's going to happen with the baby. Is Condoleezza going to keep it or not? We do not know, but we will see. And then Legendary, which is a series about ballroom.
How about that?
You still I also sound.
Just see.
Okay. Are you on your tablet or your laptop?
My laptop, AirPods, and
I can't hear you.
Hold on. It now.
It sounds like
Okay.
it's dragging. I can hear you, but you sound like a robot. Okay. Um, so Insecure is happening.
Right.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Come out and come back in and let's see.
Hey.
Hello?
You hear me?
I can't hear you now at all. Have you connected your mic to it?
Check, check.
I can hear you. I can hear you, but it sounds like you're a robot, like you underwater.
Okay. Is it
Hello? Say it one more time. I can't. It's a little better. Okay. So Insecure, the end, we'll see that. And then Legendary, which is about ballroom. It's a ballroom competition. For HBO on HBO Max, has Megan Thee Stallion and Law Roach and a couple of other people that are a part of it. It already started actually on May the 6th. So we're just waiting to see how that goes. I'm gonna get caught up on that and try to check it out and watch it. Um
which one? Legendary?
Legendary, yeah. It's on
Okay.
HBO Max. So
Yeah,
I'm
I got that. I got
okay.
that.
So I'm gonna check that out and see what that's about. It looks like it's gonna be fun. Um so let's get into the summer. So summer TV. Of course, we're talking about Around the World. It's on Stars. Raising Canaan is supposed to be airing in July as well. Grownish is coming on Freeform Thursday, July the 8th. It normally airs 8/7 Central. The Real Housewives of Potomac is coming back. Is it this month?
July.
Okay, they're coming in July.
I think July 11th, either July 11th, July 16th is one of those days.
Okay. So they will be back. We can't wait till they come back. And then Legendary is already out on HBO Max. We do not have an exact date for Insecure, but I can't wait. So I'm thinking towards the end of the summer for Insecure, maybe August-ish. So we'll see. But these are some of the summer TV. If I see any other shows that's coming out for the summer, I'll make sure I try to share them. Netflix also is coming out with a new movie every week. So and they're coming out with a ton of new shows. There's a show on there called Meet the Kims, and my child and I were dying at these Asian people that own the store. One of the episodes, I think it was the first episode, it's Gay Pride Month, and the Asian man was giving everybody that was gay like 15% off or something at the grocery store. And so the black people came in and said, "What about our discount?" He said, "You get your discount in February." I hollered. Do you hear me?
What show is this?
I think it's called Meet the Kims.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. It is hilarious. So y'all check that out. That just aired. We have some shows to talk about too, that we'll be talking about. I'm waiting on this movie with Kevin Hart. It seems like it's gonna be funny about him raising his daughter, a single, his wife passed, and he's raising it. It's supposed to be coming out. I don't know if it's coming out this Friday or next Friday, but it's coming out around. It's getting close to Father's Day, so that'll be coming out. I think it's going to be funny. He does a good job at doing a balance of comedy and drama. I think he's been taking these acting classes and doing wonderful with that. So I'm interested in seeing that movie as well. So y'all check out Netflix too, because like they got some movies coming out and they're good. All right, next slide. All right. So our main discussion tonight is about the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, and of course, Dreamland, burning of Tulsa, or the burning of Black Wall Street. This is ridiculous. If you look at this, I don't know if there's a before picture of Black Wall Street prior to this, and it was for blocks and blocks, not the one block that they have today, but blocks and blocks and blocks. And they're gentrifying the neighborhood. Um, Recently, like in the last couple of years, they excavated bodies, because the way they buried a lot of the bodies of the dead, they buried them in 3 spots in Tulsa. One of the spots that they focused on in the documentary was the cemetery over by the railroad track, and they found like 12 bodies that we know of, but it was believed to be 18 or more bodies buried over there. And they had them in boxes, and so the survivors, the way they talked about them being buried in these boxes, uh, they put 2 or 3 people in a box and just hammered it up and threw it in this open pit. Basically, that's what they did. They covered this up for so many years. This is ridiculous. I always heard about Black Wall Street. I'm so into history, but there's still a lot that I don't know, and there's a lot that people don't know. And I didn't realize that people did not know about the Tulsa Massacre until I watched Watchmen and I watched Lovecraft Country. And being in these groups discussing the shows, people's like, I had no idea that happened in Tulsa. And I'm like, huh? But here's the thing: there are people who lived in Tulsa that also had no idea that it happened in Tulsa because they couldn't teach it.
I didn't understand. It was like hush hush. It was all hush hush.
Yep.
And I guess the people who fled Tulsa after during the massacre, they didn't want to speak no more about it because it was so traumatizing. But just to know that to say that the bombing of that federal building in the 90s, you remember that?
Yeah.
They're saying that was the worst massacre that happened in Tulsa. No, honey.
No. Y'all killed hundreds of Black people in their homes, on their land, on the property that they own, on what they built. So what they did was kind of gave us a history lesson of how they came about the land and how they came to build on it. And there were certain areas in Oklahoma, people were saying go west. Ida B. Wells was one of those people who were encouraging people. And Ida B. Wells is a icon here in the city of Memphis. She had a Black newspaper. She was an activist for the cause. They threatened to kill her.
In the massacre here, we had a massacre in Memphis.
We did have a massacre here in Memphis, but she was telling everybody to go west. So if you can see some of the pictures, the older pictures, not the new ones, but these older pictures, you can see the businesses. They had the reason why they called the documentary Dreamland is because that was the name of one of the movie theaters in town.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't go try on clothes in boutiques. We couldn't go to movie theaters. We couldn't go sit in the ice cream parlor. We couldn't do a lot of things. So what did we do? We created our own.
Right. When I see this, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because there was generational wealth that could have just expanded.
Just could have expanded and continued. But
they had their own. I'm talking about their own pharmacy, their own doctors, their own hotels.
Yeah.
They had it going on.
Yeah. The Stratford was the largest African American owned hotel. And actually, if that brother had continued to do what he did, he probably would have been as big as Hilton. They killed one of the doctors and his family. They asked him to come out the house. He didn't resist. They killed him.
Well, what I liked about the Dreamland, they talked about the massacre part, but they didn't focus the whole part about the massacre.
No, they talked about different parts. Yeah.
The history.
Right.
And like I said, I was shocked to know that to learn that Native Americans owned slaves, and I was
Native
like, what?
Americans owned slaves and Native Americans and slaves. You know how now you can't go on the Indian reservation at all? Like you got to have some type of rite of passage to get on that bad boy. They lived
Mm-hmm.
together in Oklahoma. They went to school together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was not a problem. Um, they called Tulsa or Greenwood, rather the Greenwood area, the Greenwood neighborhood. They called it Little Africa or Nigger Town. Um,
Uh-huh. And they
because
was
they
jealous of little Africa. The
they
folks
were
would come out because not only were the businesses and stuff were thriving, the small
yeah
businesses were
yeah
thriving and stuff, but the kids was getting the education
yeah
and they was learning how to play musical
yeah
instruments,
yeah
not only the blues but classical
yeah
music. I
yeah
mean, it was just so much that we as a culture and as a people were doing,
yeah.
and they didn't like it.
They had no
Hey,
they
the
did
black
not.
folks are doing better than we are.
And what bothers me about it, let's talk about this. So I remember at the church we used to go to, they talked about how generational wealth worked, and they used the Jewish community as an example. And they said the in the Jewish community, the money exchanges hands 7 times in the Jewish community before it goes outside of that community.
Right.
Money exchanged hands 20 times in Greenwood.
Mm-hmm.
20 times. They
Mm-hmm.
really didn't have to go outside of their community for anything.
And then what bothered them is you had some of the people that worked for the white folks,
But they did.
and they spent their money in their own
They
community.
spent their money in their own community and not in the white community. And that was the problem. It wasn't enough that your community spent money with your community. So let's talk about how the massacre started, because I had no clue
The
what
dude
happened.
tripped. The dude tripped
The young
because
man who was a shoe shinesman tripped. He went to the high school. He was a football player. He was well liked in the community. He did never got in trouble or anything. He took on a job as a shoe shiner downtown in one of the big buildings. He couldn't use
and
the
so
bathroom in that building.
right.
So he had to go to another building where they allowed them to use the bathroom on the like a one of the higher floors.
Right. So let me add the note. At that time, elevators was just being created. Just think about it.
Right.
So the sturdiness of the elevator is not all the way there.
No.
So when you get inside the elevator, you have to really learn how to balance yourself so you won't fall over.
Right.
And so when the elevator door opened, the poor guy, he lost his balance and he accidentally touched the white girl and
And
she
she screamed.
screamed. And that right there, hold on 1 second. Go ahead.
Yep. So she screamed, and one of the clerks at the counters in one of the stores in that building called the police. He ran and hid out. He went home to Greenwood in the Greenwood community. The police picked him up. Um, and they locked him up and put him in the jail, and they had him in the third floor jail cell. Um, had him in the third floor jail cell, and white people heard about it, and of course the white newspaper there had made the story bigger than what it actually was,
Right.
and accused him of assaulting the
The
young lady,
woman.
and opposed to it was an accident.
But then
So
let me start here. Let me say here's here. There was a movie that came out. It was a movie that came out. It was one of them silent movies. I'm thinking I'm it's at the tip of my tongue what the name of the movie was.
Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
Where they made it seem like the Ku Klux Klan were the heroes and the
Yep.
black guys was the
Yep.
evil villains and all of that stuff.
Yep.
So these people were hyped from
Yep.
even watching this
Yep.
movie.
Right.
So all of this was hypeness. Now go
Yep.
ahead, go ahead.
Yep. So because of that, they wanted to bring him out to lynch him. So the black um, servicemen who were, a part of the military. They decided that they were going to go down and they're going to protect this young man so that the crowd would not drag them out of jail and lynch this boy, because that was the rumor that was going on. Keep in mind, there was a prom that was supposed to go on that night. Prom got
Mm-hmm.
canceled because they knew something was about to pop off. They only knew it was
Mm-hmm.
only a matter of time. Something was finna pop off. So prom got canceled that night. Um, and the guys went down there. The sheriff told them to go home. They weren't gonna lynch him. They weren't gonna bother him. They weren't gonna allow it to happen. And so one of the guys got into an altercation with one of the white guys. And the guy asked him why he had his gun, and he told him, "Because I got one. You know what?" And they had a tussle over the gun. Gun goes off. All hell breaks loose.
Folks just shooting folks.
Right. All hell breaks loose. Because if Give Me a Reason was a person, it was those white people in Tulsa at that time. Um, they came in droves. It said that the sheriff's department deputized a lot of the white people in the crowd, and they came and they torches, Molotov cocktails. They had airplanes dropping bombs down on this community. Bombs
Is
on,
that rain?
yeah, it's raining.
Okay.
Bombs on this community.
They, I mean, for what? For what?
They killed almost 300 people, or 100 to 300 people, um, in this community, in this neighborhood. And they dumped them in mass graves all over the city. A lot of the people got away and escaped to Chicago, to Detroit, to other places. Some of them died. Some survivors ended up staying in Tulsa. And the people who stayed in Tulsa, they had them in a concentration camp. The people who lived, they got them in a convention center or something, and had them uh imprisoned, kind of, sort of, in the convention center for a number of days. A lot of homes were gone. There were some homes that survived, but a lot of homes were destroyed. Stratford, they took out his hotel right in front of him. He and his son managed to escape and get out of town. Um, they tried to rebuild. Of course, that was an opportunity for people in the white community to try to get the homes away from under them, and they continued to do that over the years. This wasn't just in 1921. Over
And
the
let me say,
hmm
none of the insurances, the insurance company that these people paid their insurance for their homes, any money for
no,
this.
no.
But one owner, business owner who was a white man, he got his claim because his guns were stolen.
That's ridiculous. That's purely ridiculous. So a lot of these people, a lot of the descendants of the Tulsa Massacre, they have not had any, and they're saying they don't want to do reparations. They would rather just find out where the bodies are so they can have closure. I don't know if my great uncle's body is in that mass grave. I don't know if my great great grandfather is in that mass grave. Those bodies are probably well over decomposition stages at this
Mm-hmm.
point, because it's 100 years later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I I I think that they do deserve reparations. And I think there are so many people who deserve reparations, and everybody else has gotten reparations except for the black community. And that's ridiculous. And they're debating about reparations for black people right now, which is
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. The Indians have gotten reparations. The Jewish community have got. Y'all even paid the Chinese people y'all had in the concentration camps.
The reparations.
But
Yeah,
we've
they
never
don't.
got
But you know
reparations.
why? Because they are afraid of what if they give us our reparations, it's gonna start over again where we have our own stuff.
And I'm
We
not
doing our
against
own
that.
things.
Let me say this. I'm all for we are the world and can we all get along? But I feel like why can't we support our own? Why
Right.
do we have to go into if I got a black doctor, I got a black psychologist, if I got a black grocery store that I go to, if I have a black massage therapist, somebody that I go to, I should be able to support my own people.
And
You're going
guess
to
what?
support
I
your
already
people.
do. I think the
And I
only
do. No, no,
person.
no. And I'm not saying that I do not. That's not where I'm
Mhm.
going with that at all. What I'm saying is I don't see the problem in it.
Right.
Why
But they
can't
see the problem in it because our dollars, that we may not know it, but they depend on our dollars.
of course they depend on our dollars because we shop. We
Right.
be shopping. We are the biggest consumers. We're the
Mm-hmm.
biggest consumers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
biggest consumers. So
Mm-hmm.
of course they depend on our dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they do. So Um, we learned so much. They did find those bodies. I hope they dig up the other
Oh,
spots.
we forgot to say this.
Okay, go ahead.
The next day, after all of the massacres, after the massacre happened, they released the boy.
They did.
They
They
released
released the
they
boy.
released him from jail.
They released
No
him because the girl
no
got out
charges
of
was pressed.
town. Right, because she didn't press charge. She called them and told them she didn't want to press charges. That it was a accident. She didn't mean for all this to happen. And she never came back to Tulsa again. Never.
Mhm.
Um, Here's my other issue with that. Um, your privilege. You could have said I didn't want to press charges from the jump.
It- right.
That further shows me, and a lot of people say white women are more so the demise of the black people than the white men were. I believe that wholeheartedly because you had the opportunity to say no.
Yeah, like don't do it. It
Right,
was an accident.
right. He didn't
You,
he didn't attack me. There was nothing wrong. Why do this? Um,
but I really think that um if he didn't do that, they was gonna find some kind of other reason to do what
They
they
were
did.
gonna find a way, but they were just waiting on a slip up. So
Right.
here's my other thing with that. Let's go here, and I'm not advocating for your cousins that got nasty attitudes and all that stuff. I'm saying, why can't we hire our own to work for us? And let's not be cheap, folks, because a lot of our black
Mm-hmm.
business owners are cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pay your people what they're worth.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and get that taken care of. Make sure that that's
Mm-hmm.
okay, and work that out with your people. Talk a little bit more about it, Wendy. Hold on for me.
What are you talking about?
Tulsa.
What do you want about the Tulsa? Okay. So my take on it is the just all of the stuff that I've learned. I've learned about how it started. I learned about um, they talked about the different stores that they had. They talked about how some of the residents there wasn't middle class or upper class, but they would work for the white people, and then they would come back to their side of town and spend their money with their side of the business, which I don't really see a problem with it.
Right.
I wish that we can do that.
Yeah.
I wish that we can do that. I really wish that we can do that
Yeah.
with our
Absolutely.
own community. I would support a black business to the T.
Yeah.
If I
Absolutely.
can get every single need met by a black owned business,
And I think
guess
it's
what?
possible. I honestly think it's possible. I just think that we're not willing to make the sacrifice and do it. we're not willing to do that. Now, keep in mind, some people, your stuff is over.
It's Paul said it smells like rosewood. It's more than just rosewood. It's so many of
Oh
them.
yeah, nah, it,
It's
it
so
ain't
many
just
of them.
rosewood. It's a lot. When I say it's a lot of massacres that happened, we had a map. Thank you, Paul, for the Japanese. I apologize. It was the Asian people. Okay. Um, but yeah, that's um. Oh, that is that's how a lot of situations have taken place and happened. And so I am, and I don't. I'm. Wendy, you're gonna have to hold me to this date.
Okay.
You're gonna have to hold me to it.
Oh, when you're gonna talk about the history of stuff
Yes.
in the
So,
black community,
huh?
in the black history moments, great
Yes.
moments
So,
of black history.
what I'm going to do, I have to put myself on a deadline, and I'm gonna have Heather hold me to this as well. Um, I'm looking at July. I'm looking at probably July the
I got the same
15th.
one.
That's what I'm looking at. July the 15th. Um,
It's so
and Wendy, as I look at this calendar, Potomac probably is going to start on the 10th of July. I mean, not the 10th,
ooh.
the 11th of July, because the 11th of July is on a Sunday. That's when they're going to
Okay.
start. But at any rate, I'm looking to start Untold History on July the 15th. Jalen and I will
Okay.
be going to the library weekly, and I'm going to be doing my research so I can get my stuff together for that. So I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to be doing. So my goal is to do this starting July 15th. I need people
Okay.
to hold me to the fire because that is the plan and the goal is for me to do that because I was inspired to do that when Lovecraft Country happened. Just looking at how many people have no clue. Uh,
Right, how they intertwine black history in
yep,
the show.
yep, yep. And they had no clue about a lot of the historical figures. Of course, we all knew about Emmett Till. We talked about that throughout time, but a lot of people had no clue how bad it was for Emmett Till and how he was tortured. A lot of people didn't know how that happened. A lot of people also didn't realize. I realized it, but a lot of people didn't realize that his mama had an open casket. She's y'all gonna see what these folks did to my child. Um and
I knew.
right. And a lot of people had no clue that Greenwood was a thing. They did not know that this actually happened. So we gonna get it on. I'm gonna start doing my due diligence and making this happen. So I need my people to hold me to the fire so I can go ahead and get going with this podcast because I'm extremely interested in sharing it with others. I'm very interested in doing it and it's a passion of mine. So I definitely want to discuss it and make it happen. And I want to have guests on. So if you're a history buff, if you know anything about any type of history at all, I see you shaking your head. Any type of history at all, I definitely want to invite you to join me on the show. Um, we're gonna wrap up. It's on.
It's
Uh,
on. So next week, what we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about a million little things. I'm going to catch up on it.
We're gonna
I
add a
have
million
five.
little things in because we're retiring posts from our weekly lineup, so we'll add a million little things in. I know, man. Oh my god! So next week we'll add a million little things in. I don't know what our
Handmaid's
main,
Tale.
huh?
We'll talk about Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale. Are we gonna finish Big Sky just to finish Big Sky?
Let's do Big Sky the following week.
Well, the following week we're gonna be off because you're gonna be busy.
Oh yeah, that's right. The week after that.
Okay, on the 28th. Okay,
Right.
so
And we just talk about Run the World, Hands and Million Little Things.
Okay, we can do that.
So do you have a show pick of the week?
Law and Order, SBU, and Organized Crime. Oh,
okay. So you saw the
God, I
ending.
did. I did.
I was crying for this. So he had his ex-wife killed.
Yep. 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 But they got him anyway.
Like,
they got him locked up anyway.
But didn't his son have something to do with that though?
Son got mad because he found out he killed the granddad. The son don't know that his brother got killed. So by his dad. So that's another.
I saw the episode where he killed the so-called girlfriend.
Right.
That's the episode I saw, and then I saw the season finale. Yep. I just was so happy. I said, let me watch it. Yep. So now I gotta watch it from the beginning.
Yes, you do. It's
I'm
good.
Like, okay,
it's good. I see why they got a season. You know, another season. So that's right. Great. Wouldn't it be awesome if Stabler and Olivia got together?
It's never gonna happen.
Why you say that?
They're two toxic people. It's never gonna happen.
They're gonna end up together. Why?
They're too toxic for one another.
Mark my word, they're gonna end up together. But yeah, I dug it. And I love Law and Order, SBU as well. Those were two very good episodes. There are a lot of things that are taking place and going on in the world that we have no clue about, and these are stories that are derived from real life situations. So it's a mess, but it is what it is. So I love the job that they've done with it. Law and Order SVU has been renewed for season 23 and 24. And Organized Crime,
the longest running show.
Man, and I'm with it. As long as Mariska Hargitay got it in her, I'm for it. Let's do it, Olivia Benson.
I am so tempted just to binge watch the whole thing.
Joshua has. He has. I can't remember what season he left off at, but he got it all the way because he was watching it. I'm like, what you watching? Law and Order SVU. Mom, did you see this? Do you remember this episode? Mom, oh, look at what happened. Mom, I don't even understand why Stabler did it like that. Why did he leave? I was like, sir. Sir. Yeah. So I love it. I love the Law and Orders. They are good. I'm excited about the continuation of the series. And so yeah, those are my show picks of the week. Do you have one?
Yes, I do. My show pick is also on NBC. It is Manifest.
Manifest. I'm gonna have to watch Manifest.
I love me some Manifest. Okay, I'm telling you. Can you hear all this?
I can hear a little bit. You probably can hear Jalen. So.
Okay, so basically, Manifest is about a plane that somehow crashed, but it came back. So in the beginning, you see them on the plane, kiki hoo hoo, because the main family had to split. So the mother and the twin daughter went on the regular plane that they were supposed to be on. Then the aunt, the father, and the twin brother was on the
plane that disappeared.
So when you watch it, you see a little bit of shaking and turbulence, and then everything is good. And then they land. Yeah. And the people like, huh?
What happened?
Where did y'all come from? Yeah. Y'all been missing for 5 years. So they have not aged for 5 years, okay? So the twins, 12 years old at the time, 17 years old, the girl is. She's looking 17, the twin boy still.
She got a little brother.
And she's a twin. So now it's at the point now, they figured out they're going to die. And they're going to die the amount of time that they was gone, that's the amount of time they're gonna die.
So in 5 years, they're gonna die.
Right, in 5 years they're gonna die.
So
And
once he turns
so
17, once the twin turns 17, he's dying.
they already got a date and everything. And
That's
how they die, like they're supposed to be the plane crashed. The plane crashed. So how they died, that's how they're gonna die for real. So they're gonna burn up. They're gonna burn up. They're gonna be walking around somewhere, they're gonna burn up, girl. It is just crazy. And now they're finding ways to beat their death date. They're at the point now they're finding their death date. So different. And then when they
and this
came
is
back,
this is the third season. Okay, I'm about to say, is this the fourth season? It's the third.
Now the thing is, when they came back, they had all these callings.
Okay.
They all had these psychic callings. So each time, thank you. Each time, each episode, somebody had some kind of calling, and it saved somebody's life and stuff like that. So it is just off the chain.
Gotcha.
You're gonna if I gotta watch one of those shows I don't want to watch, you're gonna have to watch this one.
I just we'll see. I'll see if I can put it in rotation somewhere. Maybe when the season finale hits, I can just go back and kind of binge watch some things.
Mm-hmm.
Also, guys, my classmate Jeremy Clark is on American Ninja Warrior on NBC. I think it came on tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and watch the playback. He made the semifinals last week, so I was super excited and proud of him. So make sure you guys check out American Ninja Warrior. It takes a lot of skill to do what they do. He's been training fiercely for it. I think the first time he went out for it, he didn't make it. He kept going and kept trying. And he's made it. I'm super proud of him. I'm super excited. I love JSU strong. Make sure you make us proud. He's already making us proud. He's did his thing. Baby, I cannot go through no obstacle course. Let me let you know that right now. I'm so out of shape, it ain't even funny. But American Ninja Warrior comes on, I think Paul's pulling up a picture now. Comes on Mondays, 8/7 Central on NBC. So check that out. So that's probably another summer show that you can catch if you like watching kind of those shows like that. So
yeah,
it's really good. I'm talking about, you're seeing mamas who just had babies. You're seeing teenagers that are the youngest go through it. You're seeing, there was a 67-year-old man who did it.
See, like I would be like the contestants on Wipeout.
Me too. I would be a Wipeout contestant. I really would.
When they get on those balls and
I'd be like, woo! Yes. So love it. So y'all make sure y'all check that out as well.
And another show, before we go, another show that I can't wait to come on this summer is Big Brother.
I have not watched Big Brother in a very, very long time. I caught a couple of episodes when Tamar and Candy were on there, but I just have not.
That's Celebrity Big Brother. That doesn't count. I don't count it.
I think they're coming out with a new Celebrity Big Brother though, because I feel like I heard LL Cool J's voice on one of them things. But I know Big Brother is a big deal for a lot of people. That comes on CBS.
And it starts like in mid to late July, and
July 7th. It's look. It's at the top. July 7th, 8/7 Central.
Okay, so then it goes through all up until I think Labor Day.
Probably
Labor Day.
Right.
Yeah, because it's like 90 days. They're away from their friends and families for 90 days to win. I think 250,000.
Oh, they upped it?
I think it's 250,000. Yeah. No, it's 500,000. And then the second place winner wins 50,000. Yes.
Oh, see?
Yes.
Maybe I need to get on Big Brother. I can sit around the house all day. Look.
No. It's not all about. It's not
I know. I've
seen
Big Brother before.
I
know.
Yeah. Now you know. It's all about strategies.
It's a game. I know. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. We will see you guys next week. We're going to come up with a main show to talk about, but we will we will come to you with some more TV shows, TV news, and all things TV. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.